You're welcome back to the program. Let's take a listen to Mr. Obua after it was rumored on social media that he passed on.
Let me use this opportunity to thank all Nigerians, members of my family, and concerned citizens who have expressed very serious concern for the past 6 days because of the prevailing situation between I and my office. This morning, my attention was drawn to the fact that I have died in detention. This has caused serious anxiety within the populace. I want to use this medium to tell Nigerians, members of my family, and all concerned citizens that I'm healthy. I'm a staff of the Department of State Services, and having completed my tour of duty as Chief Security Officer to the President, or the last President, the service feels that I should give account of my tenure. So far, there is no adverse situation, and I am optimistic that Nigerians will be informed in due course about the outcome of this exercise.
First is this. Remember too that the lawyer said that he was refused access to Obua. Now, his statement in itself is a self-indictment. It's self-contradictory. Because if you are refused access, the question again is, how did you know that he was maltreated? How did you know that he has not been eaten? How did you know that his health has deteriorated? These are begging questions.
Supposing he was correct, supposing his lawyer is correct, how should a suspect really be treated in custody?
First, I've laid the foundation when I said you do not just randomize arrest for the fun of it. You just see this man, you pick, you see, they say we're reading, or you target a man and say politically, I don't like this man's face, I want to arrest him. No. Those or any of these arrests must be predicated on that test of reasonable suspicion, or the person was caught in the act. And then once a suspect is arrested, he is entitled to be treated humanely. He must have access to his counsel. He must have access to his medications. And once it becomes obvious that his health is deteriorating, on medical ground, he should be granted administrative bail. There is nothing that stops the arresting authority to bring him, question him, less than 24 hours, looking at his status, and say, you have been granted bail in this time and conditions.
Now, you just talked about administrative bail, and I know that bail is a conditional right granted under the Section 35 of the 1999 Constitution. But really, can you tell us a little more about the right to bail?
Yes, we have two types of bail. In fact, three types of bail. One is pre-trial bail. That is administrative, what is called administrative bail. When a suspect is arrested, in respect of a bailable offense other than a capital offense, the arresting authority can grant him bail. And once he fulfills the terms of the bail, then he should have his freedom. But in practice, the arresting authorities might set out a bail terms and condition that is onerous, that can never be fulfilled. And to my mind, that alone itself tantamounts to no bail. Where, let's assume EFCC grants a bill and said, you must get a member of the Senate, serving Senate, as one of your surety, and a serving governor as one of your surety, for a case that involved public disorder. It becomes even an abuse of imagination to ever imagine that such thing could be perfected. But in practice, we see such onerous conditions. And once you once you go further, they will tell you that he has been granted bail. But that is not bail. Even if it looks like bail in law, in fact, it is not bail. Now, having said about pre-trial bail, that is bail before arraignment. Now, that's administrative bail, strictly sensu. If the person forfeits, if the person is able to comply with that terms of bail, he will now be granted bail and he'll be coming for investigation. Upon the conclusion of the investigation, he will now be arraigned before a court. And if, as at the time he was granted bail, administrative bail, he was informed that a charge has been filed against you, and he voluntarily on himself walked to the court on the court date, and the case is called up, and he walks up to the dock and says, this is me. And the charge is read over, and he pleads not guilty. Whether at the Federal High Court, State High Court, at the local government, that court is enjoined to grant him bail, notwithstanding the fact that he did not file a formal application for bail.
No matter how heinous a crime committed is, prosecution must follow basic rules and principles that have been put in place to protect the suspect's fundamental human rights. Those principles go a long way in ensuring that a suspected criminal is treated with respect and dignity, so that after his conviction or acquittal, he or she may still be able to pick up the pieces of his life. And that's where we'll draw the curtain on the program today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm Victoria Idowu. Please send in your comments to the address on your screen.